probation and an employee that's with a contract or on a certain period contract. So if you have a person that's on a probation period for 2 weeks, 3 months, 5 months, there is no an employer cannot discriminate against him or her, between him or her and an employee. So that really stood out for me in that conversation with Ms. Homotso Mokoena. But now the focus is on the ongoing refugee crisis in Durban that has been worsened due to the closure of the Durban Refugee Centre, which has left asylum seekers in a dismal state. Now, just to provide some brief background to the story, the Durban Refugee Reception Centre has been closed since the hard lockdown in March this year. And the refugees, as well as asylum seekers' documentations have expired. And this obviously has created a host of problems in the daily life for those refugees. Now, to talk more on this ongoing humanitarian crisis in Durban, I'm joined online by Mr. Daniel Dunia, who's the Executive Director of the Africa Solidarity Network. A very good morning to you, Daniel. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to you too, and good morning to your listeners.
Now, Daniel, I do understand that your organization has been echoing the sentiments of the Coalition of the Poor, calling on the Minister of Home Affairs to take urgent steps at refugee reception centers nationwide and place additional resources so that visas of refugees as well as documentation of asylum seekers can be renewed without any further delay. Now, what has the response been, if any, from the Ministry of Home Affairs?
Actually, we don't have any response from the Minister of Home Affairs. And the situation is getting worse every day because people are getting arrested, people don't get assistance in hospitals, in the banks. So the life of a refugee is becoming a hell on earth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Daniel, you spoke about refugees and these asylum seekers getting arrested, getting assaulted by police officers. So perhaps you recall the incident. I'm not sure if you're aware of this incident that took place last month on October 16th, right? When police officers allegedly assaulted 2 immigrants in Durban for not being able to produce valid asylum seeker visas due to the fact that they misplaced them. Now, the matter had been reported to the Independent Police Investigative Directorate for investigation. Now, I'm not sure, once again, if you know about this particular incident, but I would like to still ask you, has anything come out of that particular investigation thus far of the alleged police assault on the 2 immigrants?
At the moment, there's nothing much which came out from it, and we're still waiting. And we were told that the investigation is still underway, so we are waiting the outcome of the investigation.
So are you still in contact and in touch with the Independent Police Investigative Directorate?
Yes, we are in contact with them.
Okay. Now, Daniel, the Department of Home Affairs has assured the immigrants that expired permits are still valid whilst this matter is being sorted out. Now, my question to you is, how effective is this assurance by the department when the extension of those documents, of those visas, is not being recognized by members of the police? As you are seeing, continuous incidents of victimization of immigrants by the police, be it arrest, as you have mentioned, be it even assault. So how effective is that particular extension by the department?
No, that is like something which doesn't exist. What the minister said is just a word, and no one is respecting it. What we are saying is that he just said that it is extended until 31st January, but there's no any department which takes his word serious.
Right.
And we feel that the department itself is xenophobic because this is institutionalized xenophobia. We can't have Home Affairs, other Home Affairs which deal with South African is open. But the Home Affairs which deal with refugees and asylum seekers is closed. And the excuse was as lockdown. But now all work of economy are open. Why they don't open the Home Affairs where the Refugee Reception Centre where asylum seekers can go and review their documents?
Right.
And this, what the minister said, is just on the news, but the organization or the department which are dealing with us are not aware of it. There's no outreach program which inform other departments that the documents are valid. What they see when you present them a document in front of them, they see that the document is expired and they can't assist you. Even to get a flat, if you are going to rent a house, you want to get a place to stay, you ask your document, you give them, the check is expired. They can't give you a property to rent in. So it's having a lot of negative impact on us. These things are not renewed.
Yes.
So what we are appealing to the government, the Department of Home Affairs, they must open the Refugee Reception Centre so we can get the renewal documents, so we can be able to access services which are provided for us.
So, Daniel, are you saying that although the Department of Home Affairs has assured those immigrants, those asylum seekers, that your visas, that your permits have been extended, so are you saying that there is no communication whatsoever between the department as well as the police and or even the Durban Metro Police?
Exactly, there's no communication. I'm telling you, people who are arresting people are SAPS, are Metropolis, and these people are spending months in jail. They go to jail, and then they will come to court. They're reminded. They come to court, and then at the end of the day, people are suffering in prison. We have thousands of people in prisons in Westville because of documents which have expired. So if the minister is serious about it, he must come to Durban, go to Westville, and release all those people who are arrested there because of expiring documents.
Right. Now, Daniel, we understood, we understand that the Department of Home Affairs has opened, I'm saying in terms of people are allowed to walk in to get their, for example, the IDs renewed. But why has the Department of Home Affairs Durban Refugee Reception Centre, why has it been closed since the March COVID-19 lockdown? Why has it not opened? What are some of the explanation that you are getting, if any, from the department?
There's no explanation. They said we must ask the minister. When you ask them, they say we are not working. We must ask the minister. And the challenge is that for us, we see that just discrimination. We see that the country is not ready for migration, and they must be open. They must come up forward, say we are not ready to assist migrants or refugees and asylum seekers in the country. And then we know clearly that South Africa is not ready for refugees and asylum seekers. They're playing games behind doors. There's no any reason they can say now why they are closing the refugee reception centers. Mm-hmm. Because all activities of economy are open, all departments are open. Why not the refugee reception centers? They must come up with an argument why. Why they are not saying why they still close.
Mm-hmm. So, Daniel, are you saying that there is no way whatsoever to even apply for these permits and for these documents via online platforms? So I do understand that the Department of Home Affairs Durban Refugee Reception Centre has been closed, right? So you cannot simply walk in. But is there any process online to renew your visas, to renew your other documents?
There's none. There's none online. There's nothing. There is nothing.
Daniel, I'm going to put forward a final question to you. I would love to continue with this conversation, but we are running out of time. Now, aside from police brutality in this matter, because of expired visas and expired documents, we also understand that due to expired documents, immigrants are unable to access their bank accounts due to the accounts being frozen by the banks, and some of them are even unable to access social grants. What's your response to this predicament?
Yeah, as I said earlier on, these are the challenges, and we are really suffering. And we need the Department of Home Affairs. What is simple, we're asking them to renew our document, to open the office and renew our document so we can be able to access all services which are there provided for us. Right. We don't ask much because now we are suffering. You can't get social grants. You can't access your money in the bank. You can't be assisted in the hospital. The police are arresting you. You can't get a place to stay because the landlord will tell you your permit is expired, you're illegal migrant, you must leave. So we are having a lot of challenge. If someone dies, even to take the body in the mortuary is an issue. We can't get the body. You have to employ lawyers, to pay money to lawyers so they can intervene in order to get the body and bury the person. So we are living in a very hard situation.
Yes, and are those lawyers charging you fees for these services, or those are pro bono services?
No, at the moment we are using lawyers for human rights,
okay.
pro bono services.
Right. Daniel, we're going to have to leave this conversation here. We have run out of time, but I can assure you that we will be following the story very closely, and we will definitely try to get substantial answers from the Department of Home Affairs. But for now, I do thank you for your time this morning. All the best, and you keep well, sir.
Thank you very much.
That was Daniel Dunia, the Executive Director of the Africa Solidarity Network, and he spoke about the ongoing immigrant as well as asylum seekers crisis in Durban due to the Department of Home Affairs Durban Refugee Reception Centre being closed from March this year, from the initial hard lockdown. And those immigrants as well as asylum seekers, they're not just being assaulted, they're being arrested by members of the South African Police Service as well as Durban Metro Police for carrying expired visas, for carrying expired permits. Even though, and this is where the catch-22 comes in, right? Even though the Department of Home Affairs has assured them that expired visas and permits are valid until refugee reception centers reopen in January next year. But there is no communication whatsoever between the department and between members of the police, between members of the Durban Metro Police. So, what on earth is going on in Durban? But I can assure you we are going to keep a close eye on this particular story.
We're all your families. What will you eat today? Where will you sleep? Oh, people of the world, can we spare a little justice? Can we spare a little peace? Oh, the children of war. Oh, people of the world, can we spare a little love?